Hey guys, it's Brichette with San Diego Seed Company, and today I want to talk about row cover. It's a very common term if you are into gardening or farming. And what does it mean? Why do we care about it? And how can it make your crops look incredible? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today in this video. First, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that when we put out videos that are meant to help you grow better, you get notified. All right, let's jump into it. So, row cover. The term row cover is simply any fabric that goes on your row of crops, and it's meant to help it grow better in one way or another. There's a couple of different types of row cover, and on our farm we use two types primarily, which really make a difference in our garden. So this is called Agribon. That's the brand of the row cover, and this is basically spun polyester. It's a light fabric. And the reason why we use it on our farm is it does several things that are very beneficial for us. One, it's an organic way to keep pests off of our crops. By keeping our crops covered, pests can't get onto the crops. Cabbage loopers, different types of moths that lay their eggs on your brassicas, which turn into leaf-eating caterpillars, they can't do that if it's covered. It's a very simple way to keep pests off your crops. The other thing that this does, which is fantastic for our super hot weather here in Southern California, is the light color actually reflects a little bit of the UV light, so it keeps our crops cooler. Another great benefit of row cover is that by keeping your crops covered, we've got an irrigation line running underneath here. It's actually going to keep in some of the moisture. It allows for it to be a little bit more humid underneath this row cover, which is so important for us in this dry, hot climate. So this is Agribon, the brand of a row cover. This is simply a light fabric that you put on top. If you're in an area that gets really cold, you'll see farmers using this actually for frost protection. You can see this is super light. Depending on where you are, if you're in an area that gets really low temperatures in the winter, you might put a much heavier fabric on your crops to protect them from the cold temperatures. The way that this is organized when you shop for it is different weights. The heavier the weight, the more frost protection that you get. And depending on your area, you'll want to shop accordingly. For us, we use the lightest weight row cover that we can find because it's mostly to keep the pests off and also to reflect a little bit of that UV light and keep our crops a little bit cooler. So that's this type of row cover. Let's talk about another one. You've seen this on our videos. We use this all the time. This is called shade cloth. This is a woven plastic material that is woven in a way that it actually keeps some of the UV light off of the plants. This is 40%, meaning that it blocks 40% of the UV light. In general, if you're growing vegetable crops, you don't want something over really 50% because you're blocking out too much light and the plants will become stunted, and you'll also just create an area underneath the plants that insects love. So we use this in the summer when it gets really hot and we get sun scald on our tomatoes and on our bell peppers. And we also use it in the fall when we're trying to protect our crops from the really hot, dry Santa Ana conditions that we often get in August, September, and October. So these are two different types of row cover that you can use on your farm. You can use them for season extending, meaning that I can keep my plants covered for a little bit longer, well into the spring, and they'll be more protected, they'll be happier. Or you can use it to start your crops early, like we do with the shade cloth. We start our crops early in the late summer, early fall with the protection of our shade cloth. So these are two really great products that if you're a serious grower or if you're struggling in the garden and you can't find out why, these might be two products that can help you a lot. So remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that we can help you grow in the garden the best that you can. Thanks, guys.